Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. Here with your daily free picks. All right, guys, so busy day today. Before we get to that, quickly recap yesterday, guys. Yesterday, we went 1-1. We picked up our nice 2-unit play on Michigan State. I think of all the plays I've ever put out here, especially for 2-unit plays, this was the one that I got the most resistance for, and I totally get that because this was 100% a trap line, guys. And if you're around social media, people were sending me posts all day long of everybody betting against Michigan State in this game, which again, does make me feel a little bit better about the play. And we even had some comments on here. At least, I will say that a couple people who commented that they didn't like Michigan State, they manned up and they left their post up, because some of the people I noticed that commented about no chance. It's funny, as soon as Michigan State got up 15 or 20 points, the comments disappeared. I don't know. It's weird how that happens. Maybe it's YouTube's algorithm or something. Must be, right? Yeah, honestly, I don't have the luxury when I have a bad pick of taking it down. So if you're going to comment that stuff, just, stand behind it and leave it up there, right? Makes no sense. Anyways, a little bit disappointing on Kent, guys. Kent, okay, look. Kent did exactly what I needed them to do, exactly what I wanted them to do, which is out rebound, okay? Not only did they rebound, at one point they had a 20, they were out rebounding them by 20 rebounds. They didn't finish with quite that total, but the ultimate difference in this game, guys, Kent didn't even shoot the ball horribly. I mean, they could have made a few more key shots, but Spencer Littleson was a one-man wrecking crew, and he single-handedly beat us. Look, the guy goes 9 for 11. That's good enough, but forget the 9 for 11, guys. Let's focus for 1 second on the fact that this man went 8 for 10 shooting three-pointers. 8 for 10. Every time this guy got the ball, I'm like, another three's coming. And sure enough. But anyways, look, I think that Kent, wins that game many more times than they lose that game if Spencer Littleson is just a little bit colder and, maybe Kent shoots just a little bit better. But I'll tell you something, guys, college basketball, you're going to out-rebound a team by 20 baskets and, keep that turnover ratio close, you're going to win 70-80% of your games. So anyways, it didn't work out for us there, but look, it is what it is. Masterclass, guys. We went 4-1 in Masterclass, so 5-2 overall for Masterclass members. You know what? Look, again, for I think the fourth straight day in a row, the majority of our picks ended up beating the closing line. Michigan State, what was that? What'd that closing line go, guys? We had -1, got all the way up to minus, I think 3.5 it saw. Might have closed at 3. We had Mississippi State, we beat the closing line there. Minnesota in the NBA, we beat the closing line there. I don't know if we beat the closing line, Toledo and Kent. I don't know. That's a good question there. Anyway, I think we did. Anyway, we had Toledo and Kent over. We won there. The only game, funny enough, ironically, where we didn't beat the closing line was Duquesne. We had Duquesne -1, and Duquesne actually ended up being a 2-point or 2.5-point underdog in this. So it was a big line move. I did not love seeing that. And that was actually our only loss in Masterclass. We also had Northern Illinois. We got them as a 15.5-point favorite, dropped down to 13.5, so a couple points there. But again, it shows the value, guys. If you can beat the closing line, okay, you're going to have losing days. There's no question. You're going to have losing weeks. But you beat the closing line long-term, you're going to be profitable. Okay, so couple things really quickly go through. Actually, I just want to do a quick Q&A and then I'll get right into it. So here's the breakdown for today, though, guys. I have 8 total plays. Okay, I have 8 plays today. I'm going to do 4 free picks and 4 in Masterclass. But in Masterclass, guys, I do have a nice 2-unit play. So that's the breakdown. Okay, 4 free picks, 4 in Masterclass, so 4 each. But I have a 2-unit play in Masterclass. Again, if you guys are interested in Masterclass, benderwins.com. It's $99 a month, and yeah, you get all my free plays as well as all the Masterclass videos, and hopefully NBA Masterclass video will be out soon with my best NBA systems. Okay, so before I get into the plays, guys, really quickly, I want to address another Q&A. So I want to do a Q&A, and this one keeps coming up. Look, I've talked about this in the past, but I want to like kind of clarify this and elaborate just a little bit more. And that is on, it's a bankroll management question on when do I revalue my unit size? Okay, so look, you guys know this. There's more or less, I mean, I don't want to call this a professional and an amateur way. I don't want to do that, because I want to call this more of like, you know, a bankroll management growth strategy versus, you know, what the professionals would use, okay? Because if I call something a professional and I say, or, you know, an amateur, I think everyone's like, well, I'm just going to do it the professional way. Because, look, at the end of the day, both these have their advantages and disadvantages. So I'll start with, like, the professional way. As I told you guys, look, every Monday, okay, I revalue my unit sizes, up or down, okay? So depending on how I've done the previous week, right? So, I mean, you know, if I've grown my bankroll, then obviously my unit size the following week is going to increase, okay? If I decrease my bankroll, you know, then obviously my unit size is going to decrease. Now, here's the plus side. The plus side is obviously, guys, you know, as professionals, we're expecting to have, you know, a higher winning percentage, and we're going to see that, you know, we're going to see that continue to increase probably in a quicker manner. But here's the downside, okay? And this is the key. So let's say that, you know, let's say we just play one game. Our bankroll, I just want to use even numbers so you guys can understand. Okay, so let's just say that you know, we have $1,000 bankroll. Okay, now obviously we would never bet more than 5% per game, but just for illustrative purposes, I want to say that 1 week all we do is we bet $100. Okay, so 10%. We would never do that, but we bet 10% of our bankroll and we win. So now our bankroll is $1,100, right? So the next Monday, we now go from, if we're betting 10%, we would now go, our unit size is $110 next week. Now the following week, guys, we bet one game, but we lose. So we've gone 50-50, but we've actually lost a little bit more than we've won because we raised our unit size and then we had a losing week. So doing it this way, guys, the way that, you know, that I do it, there will be more volatility. But the long term, you will grow your bankroll quicker long term, but there will be more volatility. Now, the other way, guys, which I totally support, and I don't want to call this the amateur way, but it is a great way to build up your bankroll, to give yourself goals. And I've talked about this in previous videos as well, guys. And that is to have a milestone based system of revaluing your units. So, you know, you can set your milestone. Typically I would like to see, you know, 20% to the upside, 20% to the downside. Some people want to do it at 10%. That's fine as well. So there's no set dates on this. So if you start out with $1,000 bankroll, okay, you're betting, you know, 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever you want per game. Not whatever you want, under 5%, guys. That's key. But you're betting call it, you know, 2.5%. So you're betting $25 per game. When that $1,000 goes up 20%, now you would revalue your unit size. Okay, so this does prevent, you know, that short-term fluctuation where, you know, if you have a couple weeks where you're up, you're down, your trend is starting to go a bit lower if you're using the professional method of doing it. Whereas this way, guys, you're betting that same amount until you get to that next milestone level of being up 20%. Okay, now every time you revalue, every single time you revalue, you mark it down and say, okay, look, this is the point at which I revalued. So then any decrease, 20% down, you would lower your units. Or again, an increase up of 20%, you increase your units. So, you know, this is probably a slightly more structured way. And if you're a casual sports bettor, if you're not, you know, watching your unit size all the time and constantly revaluing, if you're not into doing that, guys, this is a great way to do it. The other thing, it's very motivational in terms of, like, you know, setting goals for yourself and saying, I always talk about setting goals and how important it is, you know, and I talk about, you know, when you have wins, guys, buy stuff, you know, like little things. You don't have to spend your whole bankroll on, but, like, you know, buy little things, just make it real. Go out for dinner take the wife and the kids and the family out for dinner. make this stuff real, because goals are so important. And if you can set these little mini goals, okay, of, it's no longer now about, okay, this year I want to try and double my bankroll, I want to triple my bankroll, or whatever the case may be. It's now, all I want to do, guys, is just move my unit size right up to that next threshold. So my next goal is that next 20%. You can always be striving for that next 20% or the next 10% or whatever you set your goal up as, right? So that's the other aspect of it as well. Again, as a professional, it's not something like, I don't really need that motivation. And I know people, like, they scratch their head when I say it, but like, the money to me is secondary. The money will take care of itself as long as I'm doing what I need to do, right? So, I mean, again, those are two different options for you guys in terms of, how you can adjust your units, and it's ultimately up to you how you decide to do it. Again, I refrain from calling it pro versus amateur way of doing it. I mean, I guess it ultimately is, but I mean, my recommendation would be kind of that. I mean, if you're a professional, you're striving to be a professional, then you do it the first way, and otherwise do it the second way, and give yourself, those goals to value. So anyways, I know there's a lot of you guys who have, seen those two different ways I talked about in the past, but it's always nice to have a refresher, especially for the new people who keep joining the channel. So I hope that helps, guys. And that's it for today. No, I'm just kidding. We got picks. All right, guys. So as I mentioned before, 8 total plays today, 3 plays on free picks. No, sorry. 4 plays on free picks and 4 plays on Masterclass, including a nice team to play in Masterclass. So I'll get cracking here, guys. First off, we are going to NBA. We're going to the NBA, guys. We're going to take Cleveland plus 5.5. Cleveland plus 5.5, guys. I've steam on this game. 3 nice system indicators. I like Cleveland in this spot, guys. Look, you have to... I'm not going to get too philosophical because I just gave a long story, but you do have to, when it comes to certain sports, basketball especially, you have to be prepared to take some ugly bets. You really, really do. I mean, case in point, let's flash back all the way back to yesterday when we took Michigan State as a little favorite. Okay, nobody liked Michigan State. I mean, it's such an ugly pick. And Michigan State has not played great basketball. But again, these are the types of plays. And to me, that's what Cleveland looks like. I mean, Cleveland, they're not an attractive play. Not an attractive play of 5.5. But these are the types of plays that will win you the money long term. Okay, so Cleveland plus 5.5, guys. One more play in the NBA. We're going to take the Toronto Raptors plus 3. Okay, reverse line move, multiple system indicators. Right now, very nice money distribution. And NBA, guys, I pay close attention to money distribution. It's very important in the NBA to pay close attention to money distribution. The money distribution in this one, 31% of bets, 41% of money. So we love that. We're betting with Vegas, which in the NBA, you definitely want to be betting with Vegas. You don't want to be betting massive favorites. I'll talk about that another day, the NBA. But I mean, look, the NBA... in terms of all sports, the NBA is the one that I would question the most as to the validity of some of their outcomes. There's been referees that have come forward and just outright said that, yeah, games have been fixed. But my answer to that is usually, when people say, oh, the NBA's fixed, and my answer is then be on the right side of the games, right? I'm not saying this is one of those cases for the Raptors. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying, there are certainly some suspicious games. And it's so funny whenever I see a game where I'm like, wow, these refs are really, really one-sided. I just pull up my old Sports Insight app and it's like, funny enough, 80% of the money is on the other team. So it's funny how that works. But NBA, guys, you got to be very, very careful when you're betting NBA because there's some funny business sometimes. And I mean, hey, look, when your own referees start coming out and telling the world that that's how it is, then, that's pretty bad for your business. But anyways, look, we like the Raptors plus 3 in this game. Nice money distribution. 31% of bets, 41% of money. So look, we're betting with Vegas. we're betting with the NBA. We're under 50%. So we like to be under 50%. What else do we like though, guys? We like to see a difference of 7 to 21% difference between bets to money. And we have that here. We have a 10% difference. So very nice money distribution. As I said, reverse line move, system indicators, Toronto Raptors +3. All right. Okay, guys, on to college basketball. Next game is Auburn and Mississippi. Auburn, Mississippi, we are going over 138.5. Over 138.5. A couple steam already on this game. I will say this, guys, shop around. There are some 138s out there. So, yeah, you can still get 138, but most of the books 138.5 at this point. And finally, guys, last game, Samford. Okay, we're going to go Samford +6. Now, this game, guys, there's a lot lining up on this game. I was close. I was close to being a 2-unit play on this one. But the line has dropped a little bit, and I feel like we have lost a little bit of value through some key numbers. So this line was at 7.5, dropped to 6.5. Now it's just dropped to 6. I think for good reason, but it makes me a little apprehensive to go from the 1-unit to the 2-unit play when we're losing numbers through those key fouling numbers in college, right? So I mean, those key fouling numbers, Samford could be down like 3 or 4. They can easily foul through that 6 all the way up to 7. They can even foul through 7.5. But I still like to play. I think Samford has a chance to win this game outright. But we will take it for +6, and I like that play. One final thing, guys, before I go, I do want to mention I was close on another play. I ultimately laid off, and I just want to give you guys kind of my mindset. So Air Force tonight, it's a later game tonight. Air Force, I had 7 different system indicators on Air Force, but I really don't like seeing that line move. Now there hasn't been steam, but the line has gone from 17 up to 19. And like normally I would say that, that's increased value, especially with 7 system indicators. But as I told you guys, with basketball this year, I am treading a little more cautiously. And because of that, we've done like phenomenally well. Like our crazy numbers, like being super selective with both NBA and college. But I just want to say, look, I think that if there was a play in that game, it's Air Force. But I ultimately decided, maybe I'll be shaking my head about it later, but I ultimately decided to lay off. I just don't like, seeing a quick 2-point line move, especially when I don't see any steam on it. So I don't know. That to me, guys, is a little bit scary that like maybe Vegas knows something that I don't, and and they're moving that line a couple points. It to me indicates maybe they want some money on Air Force, and that's ultimately why I've decided I'm not going to give it to them. So I could be overthinking it, I don't know, but I just want to say, look, that game, guys, if there was value, in my opinion, I think it's on Air Force. But I also think, with that line move, it should just be a no play, right? So that is it for today, guys. So again, if you're interested in Masterclass, I have 4 more plays, including a 2-unit play. And so thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. And as always, guys, have a very lucky day.